Thank you very much, my colleague and brother, Kwame Usudanso. Comrade leaders of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change and leadership of the movement for change, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and our friends from the media, fellow countrymen and women. Today, I join many Ghanaians from all over the country in expressing my utter dismay and condemnation for the continued incarceration of several young Ghanaians belonging to the Democracy Hub who took to the streets a few days ago to express their anger and frustration at the government's inability to deal drastically and substantively with the challenge of illegal mining, otherwise referred to as Galamsey. The protests have exposed the failure of the current NPP government and the predecessor government of the NDC over the last 2 years to manage the natural resource endowment of our beloved country in a sustainable way and to optimize the benefits of these resources for the Ghanaian people. Admittedly, the acts of some of the protesters in the demonstration under reference were excessive in form and character and may have constituted a breach of public peace and order. But let me be clear that it is within the constitutional rights of any and every Ghanaian to express freely their opinions and to assemble in pursuit of their constitutional right of freedom of speech, expression, and movement. In this regard, it is offensive to the proper conduct and practice of criminal prosecution for the police and the Attorney General's office to bring charges of conspiracy to commit crime and committing crime in the nature of unlawful assembly when the police was aware that the demonstrations would take place and did not take judicial steps to abort it or to stop it. In any event, it is beyond my wildest imagination to believe how the Ghana Police Service could have supervised a demonstration for a continuous period of 3 days and thereafter bring charges of unlawful assembly. Fellow countrymen and women, in spite of these developments, however, I must say, to the credit of the Ghana Police Service and the contingent of police officers who had oversight responsibility for the demonstration, that they did indeed act professionally and with decency in the management and control of the crowd of protesters over the 3 days of the protest. Regrettably, the poor post-arrest management of the protesters by the police has been both unlawful and unconstitutional, to the extent denying those arrested access to legal counsel, access to their family members, and access to essential medication, food, and water. Furthermore, the refusal of the presiding judges to admit the accused persons to bail in a criminal case in the nature of a misdemeanor, in my very respectful opinion, is an abuse of judicial discretion on the firm grounds of constitutional law, human rights, judicial practice, and decided cases. Fellow countrymen and women, let me reiterate my earlier submission that the continued detention of the accused young persons is both unlawful and unconstitutional. Indeed, it is also a sad reflection of an emerging trend in our body politic in Ghana of intolerance for dissenting views. Equally concerning is the culture of fear and sycophancy that is gradually permeating our social fabric. This is particularly troubling as we approach the general elections this year, an election which, without doubt, will be a watershed and defining election in the political history of our country. Fellow countrymen and women, let it not be said that our generation stood by unconcerned as the dark clouds of chaos and anarchy begin to gather in our beloved country. Galamsey constitutes an existential threat for Ghana. As you travel the length and breadth of this country, you'll be amazed at the extensive destruction of water bodies, forest reserves, and farmland. From colonial times through to independence and the immediate post-independence era, Ghanaians have been engaged in small-scale mining in mining communities without a threat to the environment, land, and river bodies. Regrettably, however, in the last 20-odd years, the ravages of Galamsey and its negative impact on the environment have been both alarming and incrementally retrogressive. In my considered opinion, this development is symptomatic of much deeper underlying systemic problems of economic mismanagement leading to joblessness over a long period of time. It is also a clear reflection of policy failure and leadership on the part of both the NPP and the NDC over the last 2 decades. Unfortunately, in the recently published manifestos of the two dominant political parties, they have demonstrated that they neither have the competence, desire, interest, or political will to deal with the problem of Galamsey. Indeed, recent pronouncements and statements by higher-level officials of both parties clearly attest to this observation. The Movement for Change and the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, which I have the honor and privilege to lead, on the other hand, has outlined a forward-looking, comprehensive 10-point policy blueprint to deal substantively with the challenge of Galamsey, which I would like to present as follows. Number one, impose a complete ban for a period of 1 year on all small-scale and community mining activities, whether legal or illegal. Two, demobilization of all machinery, equipment, including earth-moving equipment, and any form of machinery currently in use in respect of small-scale and community mining, legal or illegal. Three, inventorization, storage, and preservation of all demobilized machinery and equipment by the military, especially the 48 Engineers Regiment. All such machinery and equipment shall be properly identified in respect of their ownership, location prior to demobilization, and the full description of the state and condition of the said items before demobilization. Four, a complete restoration of all river bodies to reduce current turbidity levels within a period of 1 year while the ban is in force. This exercise will be coordinated by the Water Resources Commission, the Environmental Protection Agency, and other relevant regulatory institutions, as well as the military. Five, complete restoration and regeneration of all degraded land sites within the 1 year period of the ban. This exercise will involve plantation development and tree planting on the degraded sites and will be coordinated by the Forestry Commission and other relevant public sector institutions. 6. The cancellation of all small-scale and community mining licenses issued within the last 15 years. The cancellation will be followed by a comprehensive and complete audit of all small-scale and community mining licenses issued within this period. This audit exercise will interrogate the following matters. A, the issuing authority of the license. B, conditions associated with the grant of the license, including but not limited to the payment of license fees, compliance with technical requirements, etc. 7, the deployment of all young people previously engaged in Galamsey to actively participate in the plantation development exercise on the